want me to change, they want me to change, but I ain't changing, nah. I remain the same.
And you are now tuned into another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio, brought to you by M3S3 Clothing. Men make moves and suckers stand still. And as always, on the mighty, mighty, mighty Nerve DJs Radio Network. And you already know, week after week after week after week, I don't rock with nothing but legends. And today is abso-fucking-lutely no exception. We got celebrity interviewer, artist, journalist, food reviewer, Mr. On the Rise TV himself, King Mazarati Santana in the building. How you doing, King?
I'm doing good. God bless you. How you doing?
I'm all right, man. How's your family?
Family is good, man. Everybody is in good health. I can't ask for anything else.
Fire ass hoodie, by the way. Love that shit.
Appreciate it.
Who's that?
This is one of my sponsors. It's the Biggs Deuce Apparel 662. So this is just the Roman numbers of 662.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. Yo, where do we start, man? How long? Matter of fact, why do you do the interviews?
Well, I started doing interviews for, of course, for me to have a voice. But I'm also an artist, so you could say I already had a voice. But I was basically just doing it for the people that didn't have a name for themselves, man, that couldn't really have interviews. You know, it's very rare to see someone say, "Hey, man, I want to interview you," or "Hey, I want to interview this person," because they don't have popularity. With my brand, I wanted to change that, because it shouldn't be based on popularity while you're getting interviewed, especially if you have a story.
Your audio breaking up just a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's flawless right there.
What did I leave off at? Oh yeah, I was saying basically like you can't. I do this for the people that didn't really have popularity, and they just still had a story. They could have been a fire artist, and I just wanted to change that. I want to change that perspective. You can always come on my show and tell your story. I don't care about popularity.
So how long have you been doing the interviews?
3 years now. I'm about to
Okay.
have my actually going on 3 years. I'm about to have my second year anniversary for On the Rise TV.
Yo, that's crazy too, man. And you just up there too, man. Shout out to you and congratulations on that.
Take that.
Yo, okay, so you say you're an artist too.
Absolutely.
King Maserati Santana, same name?
Yes.
Okay. How long you been flowing?
Since 2001.
Since 2001. Are you still currently making music or?
I am. I'm still currently making music. I have a whole album that I haven't released yet, due to just getting my brand up and running and making sure I stay focused on that. Honestly, people kind of forgot that I was an artist until I post a certain stuff on my page, and they're like, "Oh man, like yo, we didn't even know you can rap. Like you need to drop some music." So I'm in the process of releasing this album. I haven't got a date yet, but
Okay.
we'll be back on the scene with music.
All right, yeah, it's I think you're gonna have to scoot up a little closer. Sorry about that, but yeah,
Not cool.
that's a lot better. And you right, like you was like you prefer the in person interviews, which is absolutely because you don't have to worry about this type of shit.
Right.
But I found that like I'm in Cleveland. Cleveland ain't the most hip city on the planet.
Okay.
So it limits the people that you can interview. How do you find enough people to progress, not only just remain relevant, but to progress in your area?
Well, that kind of started up when I started on the Rise TV. I'm in the city of Fayetteville, North Carolina. So the first thing that I had to do was find a way how to connect with the streets, because that's really what it's about. You got to hit the streets before anything. People got to know who you are. And at the time, I was going through a charge, and it led me to restrictions where I had to be in the house at a certain time. So I only had 12 hours to play with. And what's so crucial about it is I had to find a way how to bring the outside to me inside. And I went to work. I just started inviting people on the show. And before you know it, man, I done really interviewed most of the local artists in Fayetteville. I don't think It's maybe a few that I haven't touched, but mostly everybody, man. I just found most of these artists didn't have a platform anyway. So for me to bring a platform in, and at the time it was maybe several, media platforms in the city, and I just needed a way to find out how to get my stuff out there quicker, and I started going live every single day, like the Martin Show, man, like any sitcom show that you see, 7 days a week. I was looking at these other media platforms, and I'm like, well, you know what? One thing they're doing is they're generating their production too slow. You interview someone and then it takes 3 weeks for that interview to get out. You never know how important that interview is to the interviewee.
Yeah.
And I wanted to change that whole perspective too. So what I did was I said, hey, listen, I'm gonna go live. So now everybody can check you out live, and it was just a dope process, man, that led up to where I'm at now. I never forget where I came from with starting this platform. So uh, yeah, that was
Okay.
pretty much.
I've done quite a few interviews, and every once in a while you get somebody without a pulse.
Mhm.
How do you deal with those?
Um, that's a good question. Well, first of all, I move off vibrations, man. If I'm making you, if my spirit is calming you, then it'll bring out more of you. I have dealt with many um people that I've interviewed on my show, and it was a dead space like that. The key is to find a way to bring it alive, and it could be ways that you bring out questions. It could be your approach. It could be, oh, I got a laugh out of you, so let's get to it. Now you're comfortable. I just keep going. I make sure that I'm a finisher. So I just proceed with the whole process, and try to make sure that they have a great interview, because it's about them, man. If I bring them onto the show, it's not about me. I'm here to listen. I also look at when I interview people, it's like Roman therapy. They want to talk. I want to listen. I need to listen. I'm not one of those interviewers that I'm going to overtalk you, because that's not what it's about. It's about you're coming to the show. It's your spotlight. It's your time, your hour. So yeah, I just make sure I finish.
Yeah, you're a lot better than me because sometimes, man, it's just like pulling teeth, bruh. And
I
it's
get
like you trying and you trying and you trying. It's like, man, you just throwing ball after ball after ball, and at
Well, it
some
could be
point you
maybe
can.
it could be maybe they don't just have anything to talk about. They just want that spotlight, and they don't really have anything going on, but they want to be seen. You know,
Yeah, yeah, but it don't help you if you just sing and then people are like, oh, you didn't say anything.
right?
You
Well, uh, our, um, artist development, man. I would say, if when people are coming on shows, they need to practice make perfect. A lot of people think that you can't practice for an interview, but you can. And I don't think that people are doing it because they think that when they come on these shows, man, hey, I supposed to look cool. But the whole reason for an interview is to get to know you and find out what you got going on. And some people just don't have anything to talk about. They don't know how to be calm, be comfortable, keep their composure. They nervous, and they just have lack of knowledge when it comes to doing interviews. So
know the crazy part. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I advise everybody to start educating themselves on how to conduct interviews and how to be interviewed.
Yo, artist development died a few years ago. Do you
Of
think
course,
it'll ever come back?
absolutely not.
Why do you say
At,
that?
at this point, labels don't care about artist development. They care about numbers. They care about,
Yeah.
hey, let me go to your Instagram page. Hey, what's your TikTok looking like? Labels now are destroying independent artists. That's why everybody want to go independent. That's why nobody is going to these label meetings or anything. Now, for the people that's already been on labels from back in the day and still on labels, it works for them, because the transition have changed now, and you see so many young entrepreneurs now. The labels, they just excuse me, they just don't care about artist development anymore. So now you have to one successful key in artist development is educating yourself. So you have to learn the business yourself now, or get a business coach.
Is there a benefit to the label still?
Of course, it's always going to be beneficial for anybody to jump on a label. It's just a financial part. Um, the backing from a label. You know, sometimes if you sign to a label, man, you signing your whole life over. And some
Man.
labels still own people. But yes, the good benefits would be, you know, traveling the world, going on tour, being at certain um, events, getting to know a lot of more people in the industry. Those are the benefits. But if you're a real businessman or a businesswoman and you know you're trying to be on your way as being an entrepreneur and working for yourself and being like Master P, being someone like Jay-Z, being someone like 50 Cent, all of those guys, yeah, they started with a label, but guess what they did? They took control of their own label, and now they have generational wealth.
I
Um,
ain't lying.
yeah,
I ain't
but
lying about that.
I don't think it'll never come back. Artist development with a label.
Is there somebody that sticks out for you that you've interviewed where their story was one that you may not necessarily have known prior to the interview, but that you'll never forget?
It's a couple of those. I would say I would say Omar Gooding. Hearing his story, um, where he came from, uh, his family growing up in Harlem. His dad was had a band, and he was a musician, artist. And I never knew that Omar Gooding was into music. Um, I never knew his family was from Harlem. Omar Gooding is actually he was raised in Los Angeles, but Cuba and all of them they were definitely from Harlem. And the stories that he was telling me, how he became a actor, and at such a young age. Um, I never forget that interview because it was a blessing. I never thought I would even talk to Omar Gooding.
Mm.
But that just shows you how God worked, man. He will put people in your path to elevate you. Another artist, Little Rue. Little Rue was an artist. I don't know if you know who Little Rue is, but
Mm-mm.
he has that single called "Nasty Song." This is another nasty song. That guy. He was telling me about Charlemagne the God from the Breakfast Club, how he kind of ruined his career, and he ruined his career because he had to pay all that. He had to pay Charlemagne God all of that money back, at least $80,000. And I think at the time, L.A. Reid wanted to sign with him, but Charlemagne the God was, had little role like far as like management, and it was from the same area in South Carolina. And everybody wanted to know what happened to Little Rue. Was he a one-hit wonder? Things like that. But we didn't ever know until he came on my show last year. And it's on YouTube. If you guys want to go check it out, just subscribe to my YouTube channel on the Rise TV LLC, and you can watch the full interview with Little Rue, just to hear his story, how he was signed 3 times and how he failed
Mm.
every single time because he did not know the business. Um, Charleston White. That's another interview that I will never forget. How crazy it may seem, but this man was in. A lot of people just look at what they see on social media and they look at all the bad things that Charleston White say. Well, do they look at the good things that he was doing before he started doing this? I mean, the man was doing a lot of community work. He was doing a lot of motivational speaking at schools, and nobody took him serious. So when he got on the internet and started saying the opposite of what he was doing, he blew up. And
Yeah.
he'll tell you now, hey man, I just get in character. He's a comedian now, so certain things that he say, you got to understand. Like, okay, this is just for comedy now. You have to realize that a lot of people hate him. How do you hate someone you don't even know? You can't control what other people say. You only can control what you do. But when I interviewed him, and it was a great interview, and behind the scenes, he was pretty cool to me.
Yo, what I never really hear anybody say about him is that he lied.
Did he lie?
Yeah.
Well, I seen one point. I seen one time that he did lie on an interview. I forget where he was or what was the name of the person that was interviewing him, but it was a female and she was from a radio station, and she asked Charleston White, did you talk about me during a prior interview? And he was like, no. And she said, oh, you didn't? He was like, no. And she replayed what he said. You know, he
I
couldn't
think
do
you
nothing
know
but
what.
like.
You know what? Now that I think about it, yeah, I'm wrong because I did. I forgot that one, but
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
did. I
So yeah,
did.
he did. You know, that's why I said like certain things, like most of this right here is like comedy for him now.
That's a commentary though on where we at as a society and the community. It's fucked up.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a lot of people out here that wake up and do a lot of shit for people they don't even know just because it's the right thing to do and will die anonymously. And it's a lot of people that say goofy ass shit for a living
I
and get
agree.
paid at it. It just is it possible that we'll change that? You think we'll see a change of that in our lifetime?
Um, no, I really don't. Where it's heading at now with social media, man, you can get paid off anything. People love drama, man. People love to get what they can't get in everyday life. So if they can see Charleston White, like something, see, and what's so major about Charleston is you could be thinking it, but he's bold enough to say it. So
Yeah.
it's a now it has turned into a show for you now. So it's like, oh, I want to see Charleston White because let me see if whatever I've been thinking this week, let me see if he's going to come out and say it. So that's how I think Charleston White gained a lot of fans, man. Because you know at first it was shaky, like oh we hate this guy, people want to kill him, but now it's like yo we want to see Charleston White. He's selling out comedy shows, so the game has changed for him dramatically.
Is
Now
he
he's getting
funny?
paid. Charleston White is funny. He's funny, you know, and I think he's just being natural. He's just being who he is, and he's making money off of it. It turned him into a celebrity from just being this guy from Fort Worth, Texas.
Yo,
So he made it, and we can't hate on that.
COVID changed everything.
Absolutely.
You know, one thing I don't like about what the changes that COVID brought is like, before COVID, it was a few people doing podcasts and people that were doing podcasts took it seriously. Now, everybody that was making a bag before COVID and the bag dried up started doing podcasts, and a lot of them probably shouldn't be talking in public.
Mm.
Let me ask you this: do you have like a list? Because I got a list of like 5 people that given the opportunity, these is probably the first 5 people that would be a go for me. Who are your dream interviews?
Hmm. I already did two. Kid Capri, um,
Really?
Linnell, the original Bad Girl comedy.
Okay.
Um, Jazzo, the mentor of Jay Z, the one that put Jay Z on.
Hawaiian
Um,
Sophie fame.
absolutely. I would love to interview Cuba Gooding. I would love to sit down and have a conversation with him. And lastly, I would say I'm gonna do two more. I would say Snoop, and I would say Master P.
Master P is definitely doable.
Hmm.
That's,
Yeah, I just
yeah,
haven't got around to him yet, but
yeah. I'm
I
pretty.
would say
Yeah, you got you got the numbers to back it up. Master P is definitely doable. Not that the rest of them aren't, but I think that he probably would be Cuba, since you interviewed his brother, would probably be the easiest.
hmm
But definitely just randomly yeah, I think for you Master P would definitely be the easiest. Snoop would, oh jeez, how Snoop has become such an icon in America is amazing. I don't know who's his marketing people, promoters, or who's his managers are, but and his talent. But damn, that nigga has rebranded himself 7 trillion times and all successfully.
all successful. Yeah,
Niggas
yeah,
running a clinic on how to do this shit. You know,
yeah. I mean, but see, you know what? Like all of those people that I just named, I have connections with them. I'm very tied in with Death Row. Shout out to the homie K Dub. from Bompton. Those are the members, and I'm very close to K Dub. And if you go follow K Dub official, it's K Dub official on Instagram. He's always with Snoop. So right now, they can't really do any interviews because it's something they got going on that they had to reschedule where
Mm-hmm.
they into a contract where they can't do interviews. I know that K Dub can't do interviews, but everything is a process. So the way that Snoop had branded himself, I mean, and, with Marcus Stewart, just he can crip walk everywhere he goes, and people won't be offended. They won't be, oh, that's dangerous. Like he had really, if you think about it, he rebranded the Crips. If you think about it, he made people feel comfortable
Which
with
is,
the dance.
and I've had this conversation a few times. That's a horrible thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be honest, and I love Snoop. Was listening to Doggy Style yesterday, literally on my way to work. Love the guy, but he's recruited for the Crips for 30 years.
Hmm.
That's not good.
Yeah.
I would. That's a discussion I would love to have with him.
Oh, you would like to have a discussion with Snoop with that?
I would, and I see all the great things that he's done. How do you juxtapose the good that you've done with that?
Mm.
I interviewed Lil Sodi, rest in peace, a Crip from Los Angeles, and I asked him. I said, "What do you think God's gonna think when you get to the pearly gates about you cripping?" He was like, "Nigga, I'm going to hell."
Mm.
Instead of like he didn't even think about it. He knew.
And he said it boldly like that.
He was like, "Look, bro, I come." His grandparents were heavy into the church. He had that background. He knew right from wrong. He chose a path that he knew was not right, and he was okay with it.
Well, in California, when it comes to the gang culture, because when you think about California, it's the culture is gang banging. That's the
Yeah,
culture. Out west in California is gang banging. So most of these gangsters are already into it through birth.
yeah,
Their fathers, their moms, could be from the '60s, and their father could be from the mob. What I'm saying? Two opposite gangs, but and then they birth. It's where you at. Territory comes with the territory, and it's more of when you have people like Snoop at being his age now in his 50s. You have people like Ice T. Usually when you see older gang members like that, and they have a good name for themselves, and they usually start writing books, and they start using like they start the transition to reverse what they already done. And I look at that like redemption. Now you're trying to find redemption because it's like you have done bad things. You have recruited for over 30 years. So now, how do you reverse what you did and still be relevant to where people can look at that and say, hey, you know what? Snoop, 30 years ago, you told me to do this, but now you're telling me to be this way.
yeah,
Why now?
yeah.
You know,
It. I guess that's the process of being a man.
redemption.
Shit I did at 25 is not the same shit that I'm doing now. Nor
Right.
nor would I encourage anybody to do shit that I did at 25.
Right.
You know, um, what lane are you in hip hop wise as far as your music?
Oh man, believe it or not, man, I love G Funk. I love G Funk. I love. I'm not really too much of a trap guy, man. Like I think that comes with age. I can't. It's okay. I'm not discriminating on that, but it's like when I got kids and just certain music that is not always suitable for the ears, and I don't want to make music that nobody can hear. I want to be able to make music that everybody can hear, that everybody can enjoy, and we all can enjoy G funk. I love R&B, and I love like soul. Hip hop will never be dead to me. Hip hop is so young. 50 years is young um, when you think about R&B, when you think about rock and roll. Um, Hip hop is young, man, and it's changing, and nobody really cares about the elders anymore, which is the wrong thing, the wrong message. People like KRS-One, Kid Capri, Jam Master Jay, Grandmaster Flash, Biggie, Pac, all of those guys, man. Jay Z, even Jermaine Dupri, Timbaland, Dr. Dre, even Snoop. You got to throw them in there with hip hop. These are the guys
True.
that molded the culture, and how many of those are getting respect besides Dre and Snoop?
Okay, I got a question for you though. How many of those did anything for their predecessors?
Um,
Because it's hard to expect the generation coming after you to do some shit you didn't do.
I would say KRS One. I would say he's still doing things. He's actually trying to mentor hip hop culture back to where it started from. That's going to be hard to do. Music changed how many times since then, and where
True.
it's going at now. So KRS One and me, a lack of knowledge to what some of them may have been doing in their career. I would have to get a fact check on that, but just for one off the rip, I was KRS One.
Yeah, but I guess my point is it's not overt. Like there was never when you look at the original rappers, the ones that started it, they're not of means. The generation, the Run DMC generation that really benefited financially, didn't reach back, at least from what I've seen. Like you say, I haven't fact checked, but from what I've seen, and said, hey, here's a bag for you for what you did. How can we help you maintain your legacy? But now you got rappers, we 50 years old. Now we want these young cats to look back. And
I get what you're saying. It's hard for them to look back and respect you when you never did anything to help them.
exactly.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. What are they doing to make sure that the culture is not changing and is being? See, you know what? You're right, because if it's how involved are you in to the culture? If you're not
Facts.
involved, you don't care. They already made their money. They already had a legacy. They already had a run. So some of them don't care. Some of them like, oh well, whatever, man. I don't even want to hear that trash. Whatever. They stuck in their time. So yeah, you're absolutely right. What are they doing to make sure that hey man, listen, y'all can do this, because it's like mentorship.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, you're mentoring the culture when you're dealing with some of these artists. Hey man, I figured if you can do this and you can do that. Some of them, I feel like they should be having mentorship programs where they can mold and make some of these young artists. You know, it's no control. It's nobody's telling them that this is wrong. The labels is
Yeah.
not going to do it. They're
Facts.
going to get your money.
Man. And the one person I will give credit for doing that openly, it at least appears, is Cardi B. I don't necessarily like the lane that she's doing it in per se. Not for me, but she's one of the few that for the young artists coming, the young sisters or women of color coming behind her, she seems to, hey, let me give you a little push, let me help you out a little bit. You kind of dope, and she don't. It's like she's not threatened.
Right. Well, she
And
shouldn't.
well, a lot of people be threatened though, bruh.
Yeah.
That,
Well, see,
and you know,
that's the problem. That's the problem. People want to stay in their position.
yeah,
You get old. People have it's a generation behind you. Cardi B, she probably just um, Dominican from the Bronx, and knowing where she came from, she want to help people because she wants to be relevant. And she also probably have the mind of thinking like, listen, when I'm done with this, y'all will still remember me off mentoring some of you artists, saying
yeah,
some of you, yeah, longevity,
facts.
man.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then, like, hey, she may not always have a bag. She may need somebody in 30, 40 years, and they not
Absolutely.
going to, the hip hop won't forget how she treated them.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
You
I
know,
agree.
yeah, you got to be selfish. That's a being selfish, nothing wrong with being selfish. We're all selfish. That's a beautiful selfishness.
Right.
You know, is hip hop in? Since we own that, is hip hop in a good space? Like the, and I'm not putting okay, like the my booty hole brown type of music. The I'm not that we didn't have killing back in my day, but it's like every other bar I'm sliding on a nigga. Is that a good space for us?
Absolutely not. That's when it becomes dangerous. That goes back to when I was saying like I want to make music for all ears. I don't want to make. If I'm making music that'll make you go out there and slide on a nigga, then I need to check myself. I need to check my fruits now. Because I got kids. And kids are affected and more influenced through music more than anything. And you don't know. Okay, so you're slacking in school, but you're not slacking on them lyrics. You can tell me you can recite a whole verse from NBA YoungBoy,
Yeah.
but you can't tell me what this fraction is, or you can't read this word. That's the issue. That's a problem. Most of the kids nowadays are getting raised by social media, by YouTube. It's a problem. Yes, it's definitely a problem, man. No, I don't think certain parts of hip hop is not in a good space. Well, go good with that. Exactly what we were talking about, man. Having the older guys from hip hop step in and really make a change. You know, one thing that I always hate is you go to these certain events, networking events, and they have a panel. They're telling you how to create generational wealth and how to approach some of these labels and how to put more money in their pockets. But they're not telling you anything about hip hop. What are we doing here? What are we really doing? Do you really know what hip hop is? I interviewed Jose Guapo from Atlanta. And I asked him what do you think about 50 years of hip hop? He said he didn't care. He said he don't even really listen to those guys. That's his perspective. That's his opinion. I respect it, but that's the problem when your response is that. And it's a shame that people don't know what we're really doing with hip hop. And I think that if you're gonna have a panelist, then they need to start speaking about the culture because that makes sense. Not spending a lot of money going to labels and get your record played and distribution deals and no, let's talk about why should I want a distribution deal? Why should I bring you a 100K to do this? That's why I respect Master P. That's why I respect 50 Cent. 50 Cent turned himself from a gangster to an entrepreneur.
He's part of the problem too, though, and I'm gonna tell you why. Is how he got on was
Oh,
one of the
absolutely.
most horribly negative campaigns in the history of hip hop, and it was hella successful.
It was smart. I mean,
It,
I agree with you, but it was smart.
oh, it's brilliant.
He had to find an open market.
Yeah,
Everybody was doing the same thing.
I,
He had
I,
to come up with something different. It worked for him.
no argument there. It was brilliant. But like it was openly tearing down another brother for a bag. And this is how I became 50 Cent. So now, and he ain't the first one to do it. Like LL did that shit way back in the day with Cool Mo D. He came in the game talking shit about niggas. But 50 Cent made his brand on how to rob niggas. It wasn't just Ja Rule. It was a whole fucking list of people. I'm taking your shit. You know? And so now you got kids, and Get Rich or Die Trying is one of the best albums ever created.
I agree.
Now, if kids is listening to some old shit, that's definitely one of the ones they listening to, and they still seeing Ja Rule still mad at this nigga. They still seeing clips of Ja Rule mad at this nigga about that. For the little kids now, that's successful.
Yeah. Well, I can't really speak on this situation because I definitely wasn't there. But from the outside looking in, um, I will say to Ja Rule, he outsmarted you, Ja. You was on before him, and he outsmarted you. You know, I looked at the shout out to Matt Hoffa.
Mm.
Um, I watched his interview. Ja Rule was up there, and he was basically, they asked him about that, and he was like, "Well, 50 wanted to do a song with me. I was on already. 50 wanted to do a song with me, and they were like, well, why didn't you do the song?" And he was like, well, I was busy. I guess Ja was in his zone. I guess he was flossing too. Uh, they asked him, was that the start of the beef between you and Ja? And he was like, he don't know. He wasn't really paying attention because he was too busy doing him. That could have possibly started the beef between him and Ja. But when 50 came up with his strategy, and he just outsmarted Ja, and it didn't work for him because Ja didn't. I mean, you got to think about it. What did Ja do? I mean, you
Nothing.
got to 50. Not only is he smart, we not agreeing that what he did and how he influenced all of these other people. We're not saying that's right, but
Right.
we're just talking about his strategic plan, his
Facts.
strategy, what he did. Like Ja Rule had a concert. 50 Cent bought out the first 3 rows of his concert, and nobody was in them seats. 50 at this point, Ja Rule would never be able to catch up to what 50 has become. And it's only because of Ja Rule, to be honest with you, I think he gave up, man. Like, yo, I will never be able to get back that holla holla Ja
Yeah.
Rule type
Yeah.
of he never, and he still won't today. You don't see Ja like that. You see him doing a lot of media work, of course, but on mainstream, like, no, you don't see Ja in movies. I don't even know when the last time Ja was in a movie.
You
You
ain't
know,
lying.
50 controls that now. You know what I'm saying? So 50 is a gatekeeper. He can bring you in, he can take you out, and
Facts.
he would never be friends with Ja. But long story short, Ja, he outsmarted you. Tighten up, man.
You know what? He used Ja Rule's catalog against him,
That's
and there was nothing like there was no gangster shit that Ja Rule and them was gonna do where the streets was gonna be like, okay, yeah, we believe you, nigga. Like you,
exactly.
and he used your own style in a more hardcore fashion.
Hmm.
It was a clinic on how to ruin not just that nigga, but Murder Inc. Like he
It
toe
was real
tagged.
beef. It was
Yeah,
real beef. People got
it,
stabbed up and all of that. It was real beef, man. So like,
it's crazy, bro.
absolutely, they ain't coming back from that. Now
No,
we thought that we was going to see at one point. I thought I was going to see that when everybody was making up like Jay Z and Nas. Now Nas is with Jay, and look at Nas now. His whole image have changed. Meek Mill and Drake. Everybody, making up now. But like 2 people that I don't think that 50 will ever be ever cool with again is Rick Ross and Ja Rule.
and I think both of those are a 50 decision. Cause
Absolutely.
I think both of those dudes, I think Ja and Rick Ross, if 50 called them today and was like, you know what, let's end this shit, let's squat, they'd be cool with it.
Of course they will.
Yeah.
I know
But
Ja would.
50 ain't never, they gonna die hating niggas.
Right. If he called Ja right now and said, "Hey Ja," if he would have called Ja right now and said, "Yo Ja, yo, listen man, let's have a sit down. Let's talk, man. Let's go ahead and put the past behind us." Ja Rule is gonna say, "Hell yeah,"
Yeah.
because now it opens up the market for him to get back out there and do his thing. But
Yo.
50 will play one of his mind games and probably set that up and probably have a fake 50. You know, that's the way 50.
Yo. I will say though, like a 50 versus Ja Rule versus would absolutely ruin the internet, man. Oh man, everybody be dressed up at home for that shit.
50's too big for that now.
50 would lose though.
What I think, I'm talking about with the verses, who will win?
Oh, I'm saying, yeah, I'm saying it. 50,
50 will win.
I don't think so, bruh.
50 will win.
Oh no, I definitely disagree with you on that one. And live, shit,
Yeah.
shit. Have you ever seen Ja Rule perform live, bruh?
I have.
That nigga gets busy. And
But
there is a
his confidence level now. He never know if 50 gonna buy out the front row of his concerts. He don't.
but if they doing the verses, they in the, like, the way they got it
Oh
set
yeah,
up
yeah,
now, they in the same
yeah.
spot.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So
That
some
that's
of the shit 50 would do, he can't do at this point.
right now. 50 got the streets right now
He
with
does.
power. He just got too many. He just 50 will win. We agree to disagree, but 50 will win.
Oh man, I would absolutely pay money for that dog. All right, so all right, so you putting together an album.
Mhm.
You the executive producer. You can get 5 MCs and 5 producers. I'm gonna say you one of the MCs.
Okay.
Who's the other 4?
Uh, that I would want on my album.
Mm-hmm. This is
Uh,
this is your chronic.
oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I would have Snoop up there, definitely. Um, I would have I would have Nas, Jay, um, and I would say I probably would go with Scarface.
That's Scarface is that guy, bro.
Hmm.
That like no J Cole though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, because you took away the fifth one, you know what I mean? But of
Well, you
course,
know, well, it's up to you. I'm
yeah, no, of course,
assuming that you're gonna want to be on your own shit.
yeah, of course. J. Cole is definitely one, and I probably would throw Wayne and Drake up there. Yeah, I think that would be who I would want on the album. I mean, it's so many fire artists that's from that era, though. You know, I can't even, I, I, I don't even want to be limited. You know, but yeah, I would definitely have Cole up there.
Yeah,
I can see
I didn't want Carolina to get mad at you, bro.
that.
Yo, why is Drake not considered number one? Like everybody talk about the ghostwriting shit. It's a lot of niggas in the industry that get shit written for them that people don't know about. I know this for a fact.
um, who's to say that he's not number one?
You putting him number one? I'm I'm gonna say he should be in the discussion because he's had a run unlike nobody else in hip hop, except maybe Jay-Z.
Well, a lot of talk about J. Cole being the number one artist in America. You know, but man, we can't forget about Lil Wayne because he has had a run for a long time.
You ain't lying.
And we talking about at the age of 13 to now he's 40.
Yeah.
Yeah,
4 decades of
yeah.
fucking.
And he was relevant all 4 decades. And Lil Wayne has been rich forever. And you got to think about Drake. He started off as an actor with Degrassi and transitioned into music and being up under Lil Wayne. See, he got to go through Wayne first. So before I even rate Drake number one, like I just don't. He has to go through Wayne first, you know. And Wayne is just out of this world. He's a Martian,
And he gave us Nicki Minaj.
and she just sure did, and they respect that.
And Nicki is she's flirting with being the best female MC ever.
Who else do we got, as far as female, that we can match with Nicki?
Actually, probably. I mean, when you put everything in it together, as far as longevity, as far as bars, as far as changing the game, I don't know. Like anybody else that I would mention, got an album that I like. Even Queen Latifah,
Hmm.
beautiful. You know, love her flowing. But as far as actually putting bars on records, she ain't nowhere close. MC Light, same thing. Maybe
Different era
two
though.
albums, different era, but longevity is longevity.
That's correct.
And Nicki Minaj been putting in work, what, at least a decade?
Hmm.
Consistently. Mixtape game, albums, the whole nine. Yeah. Not, I don't know if there's anybody I'd put above her.
Yeah,
Cardi
Nicki's
got a
def-
shot.
Yeah, Cardi got it. She's working her way up to that point, but
Yeah,
Nicki's in her own lane. So I agree with you on that. Nicki's in her
yeah.
own lane.
Lil Kim would probably be a close
Yeah, yeah,
two
but
A.
I think Lil Kim. I'm not sure if anybody want to hear new music from Lil Kim. I think they just want to hear all the classics from Lil Kim. Kind of like Juvenile. When I interviewed Juvenile, I asked him at the Crunk Fest, along with Trick Daddy, MJG, and 8 Ball. And I asked Trick. I said, I'm not Trick, but I asked Juvenile. I said, listen, what you got anything new that you're working on? He said his fans will kill him. They don't want to hear nothing new. They want to hear all the classics. Juvenile is still relevant, selling out shows and doing music that he did a decade ago. That's longevity.
That is long, but I mean, like the shit that he did a decade ago, like when like Cash Money, nigga, like was like they was hot as fish grease, and they
Exactly.
made shit like when you like most people gonna compare them to No Limit. No Limit made great music for their time.
hmm
Cash Money made great music for all time.
For all time. I agree.
Yeah, cause you to the 99 and the 2000 nigga,
Yeah,
that's gonna
exactly.
tear a club up today. And I don't care what
Exactly.
club you at. Everybody know
Mhm.
that shit. So yeah, it's kind of levels to that shit. Like I fucks with Master P. I think he definitely put the blueprint. But man, Manny Fresh,
Yeah, dope producer. Yeah.
that nigga does not get nowhere near the credit he should get.
So you feel he's underrated?
Oh, absolutely. Manny Fresh is probably top three producers like of all time in hip hop. Like, and like I would say Dre, but the more stories come out about Dre, Dre wasn't necessarily pushing the boards. Dre was orchestrating.
Exactly. He had a lot of producers under him.
Yeah, and I ain't never heard nobody say Manny Fresh didn't make this beat.
Right. That's something to
That
think about.
that's fucking remarkable, bro. And the talent that man possesses is
But
is
I think he's getting recognition now on the back end. They showing him a lot of love now. I forget where he was at, but I seen that. He's getting mad love now. I don't know why they waited so long. But it shouldn't take 50 years to reunite hip hop.
he the Lil, because Lil Wayne was so huge. Because Juvenile was so like the stars he was dealing with were so massive that he just got put on the back burner, and they made a conscious effort to not necessarily make him a superstar.
He was behind all the beats.
He was, but they made a like Death Row was Dr. Dre. There was a conscious effort to make sure that he was out front and that he built star. Like he was responsible for other niggas.
Mhm.
They didn't do that shit for Manny Fresh wasn't responsible per se. Baby and Slim went and found niggas and said these niggas gonna go on your beats,
I
and that shit
agree.
worked. Yo, if people do want to get on your show, how they go about doing that?
They have to, hit the email, Maserati Santana bookings at connectservices.net. Also, it's a business number as well. You can follow you can follow my page or whatever. It's still in my managers and everything is in my bio. You can check out my website at www.wannarise.tv.com. And yeah, my team will make sure to see where we fit in at, to see if it's a go, and everything is a process.
How many no's do you say a week?
Well, um, uh, you know, now I have no, my team, they do all the booking now. So if it's a good fit, I made it so now I don't have to,
That nigga hit me with the politically correct shit.
yeah, I don't have
Technically,
to,
technically, it's not me, nigga. I don't say no.
yeah,
That's a beautiful
they,
space to be in, though.
Absolutely. They got their best interest in me. So yeah, I do want to shout out Brittany for leading me to this connection with you. She's a very good person. So shout out to her.
Yeah, and I echo that statement. And she had nothing but beautiful things to say about you too, as well.
Absolutely.
Yo,
Appreciate it.
Maserati Santana. Is that like your government, or you just come up with that?
No, it was a name I put together over the years. Mazarati, it was that name was kind of given to me because I was a little flashy. My work ethic was at a rapid pace, and I was already going by the name Maz. So I just flipped it to Maserati. Instead of spelling it the original way, I replaced the S with a Z, and Santana came from my daughter. I got a daughter. Her name is Santana, and I want her a part of my brand. So Maserati Santana. I'm making longevity with that, with her. And she's so much like me. She's going to be an entertainer as well. So I'm just thinking about the future.
And I'm gonna let you get out of here. I know you got shit to do, man. I got one more question, man. How did kids change you?
It actually elevated me to make better decisions, to look at the finer things in life instead of right now. Um, when you have kids, you have to plan ahead of time. You can't just plan for today. So it grew me up uh, to the man that I am today. Um, and it's just a blessing to even say that I'm a father because a lot of people, oh, it's good. I don't have any kids, but that's dope. That's dope. But like I want to have some legacy behind me. So
Man.
my kids changed me in a dramatic way, man, and I love them. For that, and they help me grow every day because these kids are getting smarter with technology every day. So I got to make sure I stay on their heels. So it's keeping me sharp, and they getting sharper. So.
That's a beautiful thing, man. I love to hear motherfuckers talk about their kids, man.
Absolutely.
It's nothing better than that, bro.
Yes, sir.
Well, grandkids are actually pretty fucking dope.
Oh, we ain't got there yet.
Oh, I got six of them things, man.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
telling. Oh my god, man. Yo, grandkids are everything. It's like all the benefits of the kids without the responsibility.
Right.
You know, you sit there
Right.
asshole when you get tired.
Yeah. I mean, if it works for you, it works for
Yeah.
you. But
Even though
how many
you
exactly do you have?
I got six.
Six of them. Okay. And what's the oldest?
She'll be 14.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Just started high school, which is like, bruh, I didn't anticipate having kids at all. Having grandkids is just like, bruh, I didn't think I was gonna live past 25.
Wow.
So every
Is it
breath
like
I'm
having kids
taking,
all over again?
it's in certain aspects it's better, and I'll say why. Because they kind of come out the gate listening to you a little bit more, because their parents are at a level now where they understand a lot of the shit a lot of your decisions, because now they got their own kids. So
That's right.
y'all relationship is different. So they looking at you through a different prism. Like your kids, they want to test you. They right, you wrong, you old, I'm not. That type of thing. It ain't really like that with the grandkids. It's more like, okay. And I have a great relationship with my daughters. So I'm assuming that, that plays a big role in it. And I like to think I did a good job as a father, so it helps.
It does. Having relationships with your parents is very um, relevant. And I lost my father back in 2016, and me and my father was very close. And there's still some things that I needed to learn from him before he died, and I would never get that back. But he's here with me now, and I just take what I did learn from him and try to make him proud with that. I was kind of like on the rough end when he was still here, still
Hmm.
trying to get it together, but I know that he's proud of what I became and how I'm using my talents and unlock the hidden talents. Certain things that your parents can tell you is for you to look into the inner self of yourself and Goes back with the interview I had yesterday. Shout out to Sarah Bradley. And I asked her a question. I said, how important is self identity? Knowing yourself, knowing self is very important because if you don't know yourself, man, you would never be able to know what potential that you really have. And you would never be able to unlock hidden talent. I never thought I would be interviewing people. I never thought I was good at it, but my dad was a pastor, so it was embedded in me already. When you're a pastor in that church, it's motivational speaking. It's the
Facts.
same thing. Only thing changes is the titles.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad to help people out and give people a chance, a voice. But sometimes with business things change. So it goes back to that question: how many times do I say no? You know, at this point when you're building a brand, it's just what's best for your brand, what's the best for your platform. It's not gonna be meant for everybody to be on your platform as you elevate, as you get bigger
Facts.
platform. Now starting off cool, but you have a very nice platform yourself, so you know exactly where I'm coming from.
I appreciate that. And yo, if don't nobody tell you today, bro, I'm absolutely proud of you. You you could have went another lane and went for the whole drama field type of shit. And your interviews, bro, are very very humble, very honest, and very informative. And you don't need a whole bunch of gotcha type of shit for you to have dope interviews, man. So I'm absolutely proud of you for that. And it's shit you hella successful at doing it. So
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you for coming on the platform, bro. I really do.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
No doubt. If I don't know if there's anything I can ever do for you, but if you just want an old nigga for some purpose or some reason, let me know. I got you.
Absolutely. Hey, look,
Oh,
I got
that.
a, I got a, I got a couple ideas in mind.
All right. Well, shit. Hit me up. I'll shoot you my math in the DM.
Absolutely.
All right, no doubt, bro. On that note, man, salute to you, man. I'm gonna let you go, and you have a great one, bro.
All right, you too.
All right, no doubt.
Peace.
Peace. Yo, you already know, man. This is Jobs, and you have watched another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio. Shout out to King Mazarati, man. Very, very, very humble brother. Make sure you check out On the Rise TV, and follow him on Instagram. It's King Mazarati Santana. If you type that in, you'll get his Instagram. So that's just pretty fucking dope. Shout out to you. I hope you're having a great day. And if not, hopefully I made it a little bit better. On that note,